Yo, what's up guys? Welcome back to Lichess. Let's play Lichess. Pretty fast load in there. So I can't take, because if take, it is not so good. So let's do this. Don't want to lose my defender of this pawn. They might have like bishop to here, which would be annoying, but whatever. You know, sometimes you gotta be a gamer if you want a game. That knight is defended. Let's spook it off. That's nasty. Their thingy is trapped now, though. Take a rage check. Now you move your king. Oh wait, they have a knight. I'm gonna threaten to do the same fork. They're probably just gonna castle though. But my knight is still in a place. Should I stay on the diagonal? No, the knight is still trapped over there. It's kind of an awkward pizza zone. Let's just get the trade. I totally just did that to do it, and I didn't even notice like what this knight was doing. The knight is protected, kind of. Huh, they really want their knight there. Pushing the pawns, pushing the pawns. What is this now? I'm gonna try for knight here fork, maybe? And try to bring the rook down. I don't know. It looks messy. Your game plan looks awkward. Oh! You reinforce them. And now I can't bring the rook out because the knights are patrolling everywhere. Just do this though. Just keep pushing when in doubt. Both these pawns are kind of stuck to each other. Let's just be annoying. I have a fork, but this pawn is annoying, so instead I take. Hope that they take back. They probably won't. Imagine if they did though, that would be pog. Also, look at this knight. That knight is in such an awkward spot. Oh my gosh. It has one space it can move to. Poor guy. Don't really want this trade. Yeah, if I move knight back to where it was, they have pawn take, to which I can check. It gets kind of messy for them, which I like. So I'm gonna run with that feeling. They've only got 2 places they can move. Would you look at that? I have this very nice move. Oh my god, that's me! I just saw the fork, but that was mate. What a game. You know, my last video was... It's not even released yet. These are all pre-recorded. My last video was the greatest chess game, but... Wow, that mate... Oh my gosh. I almost want to take a picture of that. Of this board. It's so awkward looking. It's so good. Iris. Iris. Thank you for the match. That was a very exciting one. They look to be somewhat new, just like me. There's a question mark there. I will drop a follow. That was... Oh my gosh. Analysis? Maybe. Let me take a quick break. I'll be right back. Alright, I am back. Let's look at the analysis board. Look at that. Look at that. That was one move. One move of difference. This was probably the giant fork in the rook. But I don't know. I feel like after that standard opening, they want takes. Is takes better? This is considered a blunder. They don't like the early queen trade. That's interesting. Did I have the option of takes with knight here? The outcome would have been the same. That's interesting though. This is considered a blunder. This early on. Huh, I guess I'll try to not do that in the future. That sets up here. F6. F6? Alright, that's my move. So the idea was I push out the knight, I just didn't see the fork. Why did it jump? I don't see the fork, they go for this. I move the king, they capture. I put in check. I do the trade. So the reason here that I was afraid of the bishop is because the board is like... It has a lot of spaces, and bishops are very strong. And I'm behind. And I know you're not supposed to trade pieces when you're behind, but bishops, they scare me. Alright, the early castling to defend from the fork. That was a very strong move. I'll give respect for that one. I go after the rook. I get chased back. They chase. I trade. And then this is sort of... Checkmate is now unavoidable. King c1 was best. Oh, is it saying that for later? Right. So that's considered a big blunder. I forget what they did for the last move. But, yeah, b4, it really likes that move. Look at that. It gave me an extra 0.5. And again here, look at this. I'm on the offensive. They just are dragging this knight back and forth. I think they're, like, fixated on making this loop that they did with the two knights. Where they do that into that. They do like the king lift, though. I'm sort of protected by these knights in a weird way, because the only way that they could give check would be moving this knight right here. But if they do that, I either take with rook or I take their other knight. So it's not the greatest long term, but it is a tool that they have that unfortunately they didn't use. So yeah, right here they had two options, king down or king right. I take the pawn, they attack the knight. I retreat the knight, they take the pawn, I place in check. Oh, they're totally fine if they went left here. Wow, they had two moves. That's interesting. Look at the bar. I think that's like white advantage, is at like the highest it can be, and then it just disintegrates. So that's the jump. From not checkmateable, super good position, to checkmateable. So that's... I mean, it goes to show you don't give up on your games. Let's do another. And again, you know, anyone can make a mistake. I gotta play the early games better. Do they want to, like, drag out the bishops here? I can sort of stop that threat with this move, I think. Because then we just trade. Attacking, defend with the knight. Pretty standard stuff. I like this trade. If they want to take it, we'll see if they do. If they don't, I'll take it. So what's defending the queen? I guess maybe the bishop. But either way, developing here is pretty nice. I think we take now. Or just keep developing. I kind of like... I mean, there's the argument that this, like, separates the queen from it, whereas this is a pin. Pin might be better. Alright, they committed there, so I'm alright with the trade. Does activate their queen. Oh, they didn't take it with the queen. Interesting. So, takes... What if we just castle instead? Let them choose the rate that they go at. They can't threaten anything with this light squared bishop anymore now. A6 is kind of slow, but I'm feeling it. I don't know, I like this idea. Push out the knight somewhere. Remember, this pawn is still protected by the queen. They could reinforce this knight by moving the queen to d3. Psych, they would do e2. d3 I would take. Would be cool though. I would be like, wow, thank you for doing that move. Wasn't very good, but it made me smile. Is taking the bishop good? Wait a second. Wait a second. Oh, actually, I can totally just destroy your pawn structure real quick, thank you. That bishop is never gonna escape. Unless you push the pawn, I guess, after. Yeah, then it might escape. But, I think I have some plans. I think I have some plans. Oh, they could just bring the queen out instead. Yeah, I might not have plans. You guys don't have to clear your schedules. Moving the h-pawn up is also maybe a move. I don't know. There's still some danger with queens and diagonals. You never know. Taking lets their rook escape. There might be some big brain thing you can do out of this, but I don't think my king's in any danger. I have a few options here. Distraction? I will admit I did not see that pin. It's a good pin that they did there. There's a pin that might be possible on their rook and queen, but the pawn is in the way. I don't know. Let's do the easy move. Rook defense is the pretty easy move here. Interesting. Pawn defense. Trade offer, or do I want to keep my queen on the board? I don't know. I think they have like more pawns than me. Actually, I have more pawns than them. Yeah, this isn't a bad move. Gotta make a choice here. Have to make a choice. What they're seeing is that if I lift the f-pawn, they have this check, which is kind of a fork. But I don't think there's any negatives to lifting this pawn. It just adds a new escape square for me. Also, I could have just moved the queen the other way. It shouldn't matter. Oh, they still just took. That's interesting. My queen's in a pretty nice spot now. I don't know if they really have a game plan here. None of their pawns can really get past me. I'm trying to threaten both pawns. I can't defend that one on the right. But really all I have to do is give the queen some backup. Oh my gosh, I almost just hung my freaking rook, man. I gotta stay on the hunt. What if I let it? What if I let it? The thing is, I can't really move this pawn up. Because there's just not much space, but I don't know if they can get to me fast enough. Cool. I think I still take it. After king moves, there's no follow-up. Yeah. Good thing I moved that pawn earlier. Although it did kind of cost me a move. You are kind of scaring me. Are you gonna end this with repetition? It's probably the only way they could have come back from this. Oh my gosh, my rook is trapped as well. That was a good match. I really thought that would be it. But it was just that one extra move I needed to move the rook up. If I could have done that turn faster, that would have been it. I kind of pinned in my bishop. I don't know. Inaccuracy. Huh. They just spent a turn developing that bishop. Might be the better target. I want to move this knight up more, but it's an empty threat because they could castle or have the queen shielded. Either way. If I move queen up to here, knight goes there. If I chase knight, it's kind of an empty threat. Maybe just pushing it up one square is best. They could still castle long. The game has only just started. Two bishops versus two knights. Who will survive? I was kind of hoping they would hang queen. Although they don't really have any reason to. It's still a possibility. Technically. Wait, that was the defender. I might not see it. That was the knight defender. I forgot. It's alright, you can take it. That's my mistake. So add another fork to this. That pawn is still free. Oh my gosh. The queen there is in such a good position, actually. I like it. What next? You push that pawn? You just move the rook to back up the thing. Or I guess you can move that. instead? I don't know. Wait, when did the rook become undefended? Hacks. I'm actually confused. Wasn't that rook defended by something? I'll check the analysis board. Alright, we've got our one passed pawn here. I can't go there. Oh, right, because of the bishop. Please just put me in check with the bishop and don't think about it. Aww. I would have let them continue to checkmate, but at this point, why bother? Alright, we'll do one more, because I don't want to play when I'm tilted. I think I hit the wrong button. Bug on the wall. Best in Blitz Grandmasters. Queen's Schlambit. Schwam. Could I have just pushed? Eh, kind of interesting idea. Ooh. I'm really trying to do some cheesy mate and whatever nonsense. If they bring out the queen, I'm gonna be disappointed. Okay, so how does that mate go? I guess you move the bishop back next. Right? Now that the pawn is defended, they're like, oh, my plan was to take the pawn. But they can't anymore. It's called counterplay. At this point, they're like, alright, how many times am I gonna have to move this queen? I don't know which take is better here, but I like the idea of bishop. It opens up this idea I really like, moving the bishop right there so that I take with the queen. Because it's protected by the knight. Just retreat, dude. I'm trying so hard to get a good position out of this. Just attack? Because this is the move that they want to do, but it's not ready yet. You have to do more developing. Developing. You know what's a really interesting move, but kind of dumb? Moving the knight to here, because I can't take because it's pinned. But then what? Then you like have to awkwardly maneuver the queen to get into that space. It's just... I can't see it working. Alright, you're threatening my queen, so I have to respond. What do I want to respond with? Can I cap? No. That was maybe a dumb idea. But this game is dumb. I'm gonna let it be dumb. They won't take the knight because they want the queen. Are they at material? We have a knight and a thingy, and they have a knight and a thingy. I don't know, it's an awkward match. Can't move the bishop any more forward because they would just take. That was kind of split-second thinking. I could have moved the bishop. No, I will move the bishop. I don't know. There's not really a good knight fork I can get out of this. Let's just put you in check. You have to move the pawn at this point. Ooh, and then I could advance with rook. Is that strong? I could advance with knight. I don't know if I could get a mate out of this. It's a somewhat interesting idea, though. Yeah, it's an interesting idea. Move the rook up. Takes. Check. The thing is, they can defend this still. With, like, they have moves. The point is that they have moves. I think I'll just keep developing my pieces. The reason I didn't use this pawn is because it's takeable. They probably wanted to get this knight out anyways, but now they don't have a choice about it. They could do this pawn move, which was very interesting. Forces a trade. I didn't see that. Damn, I make one mistake all game. If they really wanted to be mean, they could take the pawn. That would actually be so funny. Oh my gosh, they did it. The Mad Lads. You have like 3 spaces to retreat to? Oh, 2? I don't know. I don't know. Just get out of my face. Unite. Taking all my pawns. Gimme love. Gimme love. Gimme love. Gimme love while I'm gone. While I'm gone. Look into your heart and let me go. Things turn bright and gray as they go. When I'm far too gone, can you show me love? Give me love. Da 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 da. Picture so clear, fade in my mind, keeping me here. Please don't see it. Imagine if they thought for like a really long time and then played it anyway. When I'm far too gone, can you show me love? This is just a little baby threat, but you know, it's a threat. Don't let myself get pinned. Oh my god, they had a pin there. What? I cannot think today. Just so clear, fade in my eyes, keeping me here. This move isn't very hard, right? Just bring the rook back. Or bring this rook forward or something, I don't know. You may have just trapped yourself. Maybe. Maybe. You could bring this rook back up. Actually, no, that doesn't work because I still have the fork threat. Interesting. To get out, I want to get out, those pictures so clear. You know what? There is a very clever move that you have to stop this. Knight to c2. Because that protects from the space I want to go to. Obviously there's a few options, but that one right there is much better than the rest. By a big margin. Alright, so do I want the trade here? I think... Yeah, I don't really have any way of getting the king into a forkable scenario. So doing this and then delivering another check isn't bad. They only have one place to move, which is down there. Which I like, and then after the next check, that pawn is takeable. I think no matter what happens, that pawn is takeable. They could deflect it with the knight, which... that actually is an idea. That is an idea. Oh, they deflect it with the knight there. Their knight is still pinned here, even if I move the rook a little bit forward. Not sure if that's a real threat or just a buying time threat, but they're gonna have to pick up the pace soon. Now, leaving the rook there is very dangerous for both of us, because that move is possible. But I am slippery. I still have this move. But now the rook trade is inescapable, if they still want it. We'll see if they still want it. They're on their last minute now. Profitaus Exes. If I had some way to transfer the knight down and then up, that would be mate, actually. Hurts, I can't lie, remember those times I fought to get out, I was pictured so clear, fate in my mind, keeping me here. Hurts, I can't lie, I fought to get out, I want to get out. So this move is very interesting because I'm threatening rook to here, which is a check and it's protected. I'm also threatening a fork if I can get it. Not too sure that I can, but it's a possibility right now. I don't think that they can checkmate me here. So I'm just gonna cozy up to them. They can only checkmate me in a corner. So it's up to them to figure out which corner. I don't think that they can figure it out in 20 seconds. If they don't check me, the fork is back on the table. They're having some troubles. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. GG. Just took a little bit too much time thinking there. very precarious position for both of us. But, just gotta work on time control a bit. And I think your fundamentals are very solid, especially in the early game. Wow, it hates that. Huh, so it likes blocking in the... what's it called? The pawn there. Huh, I'm kind of curious as to why it's better. Knight takes e4 is best. Yeah, I don't know why the pawn was left there, so I see why that was a mistake. This, it's kind of aggressive, so maybe that's why the computer doesn't like it. I think the computer likes it when things have a sure thing, like if the, you know, say knight was right there and the queen wanted to move here, where it would be protected, that would make sense. Anyways, I'm gonna stop looking at... Oh, it hates my castle! Terrific. Was that my castle or theirs? Threatening queen. Huh. It doesn't really have an opinion on that. That's what I wanted earlier, actually. This is big disadvantage for me. Why is that bad? They like the early queen trade. I was considering the early queen trade. I mean... I don't know. I guess the reason this move isn't great... Wait, do they just pick up a full piece off that? Maybe. Yeah, that's probably why they don't like it. That's a good sequence for white. Oh, they liked my castle. Okay, yeah, my castle is pretty decent. Place in check. Back up the bishop. That's minus 0.2. Taking the bishop there because it gets my pawn so far up. And now they want to get rid of the knight before castling. And they castle queenside, I mean. Why was this inaccurate? Back rank mate potential? I don't know if that would have gone through. That is a very weak pawn though, because no matter where it goes, it's takeable. If it goes up 1, I take. If it goes up 2, I take with rook. Yeah, so it's just saying it likes the rook move more. Better than the early push. Oh, I see what it wants here. So I didn't see that this pawn was weak, which is my bad. But if I fork and then they fork, it likes this position for black. Because their king is much less protected than my king. I think is the logic behind that, but I fully admit that was a blunder. I feel like this move is interesting because the person I was playing with spent a very long time considering most of the moves, and then they leave the rook. Is the pawn better? If you take the pawn, you don't lose the knight immediately. Maybe that was the thought behind it. Also, big credit to spotting this fork before I could submit it. They don't like a3. You know why the computer hates this? Because if that happens, and that's what happens, then the computer realizes that we aren't both GMs. I don't know if this is an inaccuracy. Why is this best? Then they take and I'm in trouble, right? What is the big idea? It just seems bad. Whatever. They don't like the knight attack. The pawn trade is interesting, but this rook is fake attacking because after rook takes, they have knight takes, which is why I didn't want to go straight for that. I wanted to scare the knight off. Now they're saying attack the weak rook, which is an idea. Oh, computer saw the fork. I saw the fork too, computer. Every turn is a blunder. That's a blunder. I don't get how that's a blunder. I guess because it just has very little to back it up. Because for some reason this rook sits here the whole game. I mean, they could have somewhat easily brought it out, right? Why not just push this white pawn and then get rid of this knight threat? I don't know. They had moves. They hate this. This they like, I think. Knight c3. Oh my god. Yeah. Yeah, here's what they're arguing. Is that after this, they either move down or protect. If protect, I'm up the knight. But what if moves down? I wouldn't just keep chasing, right? I guess the thing is that taking this rook sort of leads the king up. Oh my god, there was a... Oh, okay. Okay, computer, you're way right. Yeah, when they ignored this threat of the rook, I should have just gone all in. This also they don't like. Interesting. So the rook trade here is a blunder, so maybe I should have taken it. I was pretty sure I was going to win on time at this point. Wait, this move is hated as well. Oh yeah, they just want me to take. This move is also considered a blunder. They end up doing the move that the computer likes. The thing is, this computer move, I totally agree with. I don't know why they did this. To defend this pawn? But then you get in the way of the pawn. I don't know. Taking the free pawn it likes, I think. c5 they hate because it gives up the pawn. What could they have done instead? Just push the rook up? The thing is that they can't safely attack the pawn because... You know what is a move, actually, for white in this situation? Just move the... Just move the knight somewhere. Because how does this rook stay in the line? And then you can rotate it and it protects the rook. That's a move. Let's see. They think that move is good. Yeah, that would cut the king off from protecting the rest of the board. There is some potential in that move, I agree. C6 they do not like at all. Presumably because I can just move up and then time out. Wow, is that so bad? Why does the point go down so sharply? I mean, any move that's a check that I can't do anything about seems like a good move. I think if they wanted to go for mate, they should have just brought the king down. I would have done something like this. And then, you know, they have options here. They have like this, which would force me back. Oh my gosh, they have this next. Now what will I do? Okay, my point is there's a lot of things that happen. I played bishop there. It's better to move the pawn. I do remember that one, so hopefully I don't remember the rest. I think I do remember this one though. Good move. I played pawn up. Just do the setup move. You can do better. Okay, I get it. That's a one move threat, threatening the pawn, whereas this move, there's counterplay with moving the rook, which they did do. I can do better. Huh, they like that. Rook takes d2 is played. I remember that. And then after that, you take, they take, and then you just approach more with either the rook or the knight. With this move, rook check was placed. The better move is just take the free pawn, I'm assuming. Maybe threatening knight. No, I can't imagine they'd want you to threaten knight. tightening the reins on the king? They like that more than check. Interesting. I don't know. I still feel like check is better. Maybe I'm crazy. Here you take the trade and then you get 2 pawns out of it eventually. Let's review white mistakes. This might be more interesting. They don't like bringing the queen out early. That bishop is defended. I could just expand on the center. There's no way it takes pawn. Right, interesting. Taking the free pawn here is bad. The better move is just taking the rook. That one I do understand. Taking the pawn here is bad because this fork is possible. Here, moving the pawn up is played. Where is the better move? Alright, it likes that. Interesting. Rook to a1 was played. Find the better move. Move rook onto open file. Alright, they like it. That's interesting. Check was played. Better move for white here. Oh, that traps the rook. Yeah. Yeah, that rook actually gets trapped from that. Nice. Rook to here was played. But the better move is to halt the pawn. I see the check potential, but I don't know what's defending this rook. That's just bad, right? I feel like king down is the only move I can think of. Or king up, I mean, king to there. That was an idea. What about just bring it out of the way? Yeah, bring it out of the way. Sort of blocks the king out. And also allows me to set up for rook up to the 7 row. Start attacking those pawns. Done reviewing white mistakes. Alright. So most of this game was endgame, actually. So what is the difference between, like, endgame or whatever? Endgame is after both places castle, I guess? I guess that makes sense. Anyways, interesting episode. If you enjoyed this episode of Lichess, leave a like and I will see you on the next one. Thanks for watching.